Ching ching ching! Let me hear them dollar ring. Hello and namaste and welcome to MOM Square, Money on My Mind. I am Vivek Shetty. I'm an engineer by profession and an investor by addiction. If you and I share the same addiction, we are on the right page. Yes, the right YouTube page. And while you're on that page, do not forget to hit subscribe and the like button. And if you don't like something about my videos, again, this is my second video formally today, please leave it in the comment section, okay, so that I know what I need to improve on, okay? If it's anything to do with editing skills, please cut me some slack. I am going to be working on that. The first video and today's video, I'm going to make it on the fly because it's news, right? I want to put this video out there before the market opens, okay? So yesterday we talked about PSTH and the potential merger it was going to do with Universal Music Group. Okay, today we are going to expand on that a little bit because Bill decided to drop the news formally, with the news channels. I think around 3 a.m. New York time. Okay, and I woke up to that news. I couldn't sleep, of course, because my first video, I was on it to see how many views and how many subscribers and how many likes do I have. It's funny, but let's dive into the topic straight away. Okay, so PSTH has confirmed, or Bill has confirmed, that yes, they are working on pursuing the merger with Universal Music Group. Once again, Universal Music Group is a solid company in my opinion. They have been in the business for a couple decades. Their revenue last year was $7.4 billion, okay? Decent amount. And it's grown quite a bit. I mean, I think it was 7.1 the year before that and so forth, okay? So it has a good growth. So for those of you who don't know what Universal Music Group does, they're basically a record label company, and they have some big names, They got Lady Gaga on the list. They got Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, and I believe Kanye West too. In fact, there were rumors about, actually Kanye West had been very vocal about it, not rumors anymore, but he has been vocal about it because he wanted to go and buy Universal Music Group, okay? Anyways, didn't happen because of the valuation, and though Kanye has a lot of money, it wouldn't be sufficient to go after a $30-40 billion private company and take over. Now, speaking of that, Universal Music Group also had announced last year that they are interested to, to basically sell 10% of the ownership to somebody. Okay, now, technically, there's a company called Vivendi. Pardon my pronunciation there. So, anyways. Vivendi is the company that owns Universal Music Group, okay? They got 80% share, and there's a 20% share by Tencent Holdings, okay, so China company. I think most of us would be familiar with them. So Vivendi announced last year that they want to share or sell 10% of their ownership to somebody, and then they were going to go public with 60% of the shares basically open for us to buy, okay? And I think they were going to go public in some Netherlands market, okay? So here we are, right? 6 months later, looks like Bill was cracking through that deal to get that 10% ownerships, okay? So if this deal goes through, the structure of, the future ownership is going to be 10% by PSTH, 10% by Vivendi, okay? Vivendi still wants to own some. 20% by Tencent Holdings, and the remainder 60% by the open market, right? So they were going to announce, or they were going to list it publicly. So there you go. That's the 100% share of the Universal Music Group. Okay. Okay, Bill went after this company. I was hyped yesterday. I was thinking he's negotiated a big share of this company. Okay. Instead, which I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it. I'll share my opinion. You guys do your own research, of course, right? As usual, I like to mention that this is not an investment advice by any means. This is simply sharing my opinion on the stock that I'm hyped about, clearly. And I try to, the way of my investment and the way I share opinions with friends and families and now YouTube, it's going to be limited to only stocks that I am high on, and usually I get high on stocks only if I see the technical, strength behind it, or I see the person behind it is reliable, and basically I don't go after any meme stocks just for the sake of it. Okay, I mean I have. We'll talk about that in maybe a future video. Dogecoin is one of the meme stocks I've been on. Not stock necessarily, right? It's a crypto. But that's the only meme one I've been on, okay? So back to the topic. So PSTH has evaluated or, has proposed this merger at an valuation for UMG at $40 billion, okay? So what does that mean, okay? He got 10% ownership into Universal Music Group for basically at a valuation of $40 billion, okay? Now here's the interesting part. This is not your typical SPAC wherein, the name changes from PSTH to UMG in the future, on the sticker symbol. That's not it. This is interesting in its own way. It is a little complicated, so that's the reason I'm deciding to put a video out there so I can break it down at a micro level for you guys to at least get a brief idea of where things are. Okay, so what's going to happen, right? So we bought in, let's say, $20. My average cost is 24. I think I talked about this in the last video. I have some $85,000 invested in this stock alone, which is a huge chunk of my portfolio. Okay. Obviously, I would have loved for it to go after Stripe and Played. I knew it was rumors, but Bloomberg is what I was hoping they would go after. However, the more I read about this company, the more I read about the books, and the more I read about how he structured this deal, I feel good. I feel good about PSTH. I feel good about what Bill's done. He's come through, in my opinion. He has checked every single item that he had promised for what he called as the unicorn company, okay? And I looked through it. I was like, yep, he's checked it. I'll actually put that in my comment section or description, the list that he was, he had claimed he would go after for this company, the unicorn company, okay? So the 10%, okay, let's get back to the 10% share on a 40 billion valuation company, okay? So what does that do to us, right? We bought in at $20, so what are we going to do, right? Is it basically $20 results in this new company, right? Or is it flat out? No. What he's done is because PSTH total value was around, I believe, 5.6 billion, okay? If I have my math right. So 4 billion in the common stocks, and then there were warrants that were exercisable as well, 2 for every 9, right? First he gave 1, then later we'll get 1. I'm not going to get into the details there, but yeah, roughly around 5.6 billion is the holding that the SPAC had, right? The special purpose acquisition company had. So he's using 4 billion of it. So what happens to the remainder 1.6? Okay, so it's said that it's going to be more like 4.1 billion that it took to get this merger happen, right? It's not done again for it to happen with all the fees and everything. That's 0.1 billion. That would leave us with 1.5 billion, of remainder funds, which, in my opinion, it's a good thing, which means another acquisition by Bill is yet to come, right? So what's going to happen from here is when the merger happens, which they say that if it's supposed to happen. By the way, this news is confirmed by both Bill and the United Music Group, okay? So that they are in the talks, okay? They have both agreed. It's not a rumor or anything. This is confirmed news. I hate to talk about rumors, but anyways. So we got this merger is supposed to be happening later this year, they say. I'm guessing maybe September, October, later in the year, right? Last half or last quarter of the year, basically. And when this deal happens, the current PSTH stockholders, like myself, we would be getting, so basically United Music Group will be distributing stocks to, PSTH, here's your 10% share, and then PSTH will distribute that or disperse that among the current PSTH holders, right? We get one UMG stock for every PSTH we own, okay? That doesn't end there. So it's to be said, or it's basically said that the if you do the split, right, 4 billion out of the 5.6 billion of PSTH holdings, so that puts us at roughly, think about it as you paid 14.75 some dollars to get the Universal Music Group deal happen, okay? And then for the another 1.5 billion in reserve to be spent on the next merger is costing you around 5.25, right? Yeah, $5.25, okay? Which, again, so we'll still have, so we get one United Music Group stock, we get one, we keep our PSTH stocks, okay? And there is a separate thing, because I think if you follow him on Twitter, if you follow Bill on Twitter, he's talked about having another stock or out there, or a SPAC out there that we will get the first dips on. It's actually a SPARC, okay? What that stands for is Special Purpose Acquisition Reserve Company. So it's not like you are buying or putting money into it now, like a SPAC. I put $20, right? It's a reserve. He goes and finds or hunts for a company. SPARC is, it gives you a right to, or rights company. I forget. Basically, it will give you a right to convert that into a stock. Okay, it's not like warrant. It's you can exercise that rights. For buying that, let's say he does an acquisition with Bloomberg, okay? I'm just throwing it out there. If he does, and I'll get into the details for this SPARC, what his plans are and so forth. Basically, if he does that acquisition, we would be getting the right to buy into that acquisition at which point we would be giving, here's our $20, right, per stock, right? So it's different. So SPAC, you're paying up front. SPARC, to my best understanding and the research I've done, shows that it's going to be you putting in money after the deal is done, okay, or after he finds the potential target company. Okay, I'm gonna look through my notes here too, right? I have obviously research takes writing up notes and such. So what's going to happen, right? So the PSTH stock, okay, this is clear that we are all going to get United Music Group company. When I say all, it's only the common stockholders, okay? If you are holding warrants for PSTH, what's going to happen is they're going to give you a right to exercise those warrants into a stock before the merger, okay? Because they're not taking those warrants like other SPACs and transferring it to the new sticker symbol and say, okay, UMG, here's your warrant for UMG. Not happening with this deal. What they're doing is, you get the right to exercise your warrant now, right? Let's say the deal is supposed to happen in October. They will reach out, with this offer in September saying, here is your right to exercise your warrants, turn it into a PSTH stock. Then you get this United Music Group stock, okay? If you don't decide to do that conversion or buy into the stock or convert that warrant into a stock, you will still hold a warrant with PSTH though, but obviously the value is going to be depreciating on that or decreasing on that warrant. So be careful when you are trading with warrants with PSTH. I personally am staying away from the warrants because I do feel it's overvalued once again. So I'm not playing warrants on this one. I will be getting fresh warrants when they issue at the completion of the merger. He'll be issuing 1:9 warrants. So I will be getting PSTH warrants at that point, and I do plan to hold on to it, okay? But no, I'm not buying warrants at current state because it's overpriced in my opinion. And I'm sure many people are not going to like me say this, but reality check. If I'm paying $8, $9 for a warrant right now, and the conversion is $23, I don't see it. Now, there is talks about the conversion rate going to be different or potentially being different now because the SPAC didn't work out the way it was supposed to in terms of the split, right? I mean, he's only partially or used part of the money towards doing this, right? So we'll maybe make a separate video to explain the whole warrant situation, okay? So we get one Universal Music Group stock. We continue to keep our PSTH stock, which will obviously not be trading at $20. I bet it would be more like $6, $10, depends on how the valuation is. So that 1.5 billion is going to be held by PSTH, what is it called? Reserve call or Remainco. Like, think about it, remainder of the money, right? No, that's not what it is, but PSTH Remainco will hold the $1.5 billion that's left over from the SPAC that the SPAC had raised. Okay. This is good. Basically, I think I have researched on this. Basically, PSTH funds of that 1.5 billion will own approximately 29% of PSTH Remainco, right? So Remainco holds it. But here's the thing: it's no longer a SPAC. Okay, when this happens, the 1.5 billion is not going to be a SPAC. It's going to be with PSTH Remainco and going to trade normally as it does right now on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so it's not a SPAC. Do not have your expectations, which is a good thing in my opinion, because for them and as well for us, right? The good thing is there is no timeline anymore for Bill to go after and close a deal on that $1.5 billion. If you're one of the long-term investors and patient investors, what this means for us is this fund is buying me into 30% of ownership into PSTH Remainco. Think about it as a company and buying 29% into it, okay? Which, again, that will be used towards, a purchase. Now, the third aspect of this deal is us getting rights, the first dips on the SPARC, okay? And that excites me quite a bit, okay? So you get one SPARC for every PSTH stock you own, okay? Once again, SPARC stands for Special Purpose Acquisition Reserve Company, or what is it? Yeah, Reserve Company. Yeah, I'll confirm and put that in the comments too. SPARC is basically gonna mean that it gives us the right, like I said earlier, to buy into the stock or the future merger at $20, right? Which is great and it's transferable, by the way. I don't know how it's going to be structured. I obviously haven't owned a SPARC before. This will be my first time. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a warrant. It might have a sticker symbol. It would show up in our account at some negligible value that let's say 30 cents or something, and then we convert it. Okay, more to come on that too. I need to do more research on that front. Today, this video was pretty much to summarize what this deal is about, right? Three main factors. One is you getting the Universal Music Group stock. You will be keeping your PSTH stock, which is going to be lower than $20, of course, because they use us part of your $20 which is $15.75 to buy the Universal Music Group, and the remainder 5.25 is what we are left with. Okay, so we'll have that PSTH stock, and the third exciting part, and somewhat needs more investigation on or research on, but from what I've read so far and researched so far, I feel good about the SPARC situation too. Now, the SPARC that he's going to issue, there's talks about it being at a value, or basically he's going to raise $5.6 billion, okay? $5.6 billion. With a potential of adding more from anywhere from $1 billion to another $5 billion. So this SPARC, okay, like PSTH was a SPAC and had raised 5.6 billion. This SPARC would be raising anywhere from 6.6 billions to 10.6 billion. Okay, it's not suggesting by any means that it's gonna go after one big company. I do think that he might go after small deals here and there, and I do think this is the year for deal makers like Bill and Chamath too, right? To go after companies, private companies that are facing challenges in terms of financial and thinking about going public and so forth. This is the year, right? Because there's going to be some financial strain or financial pressure on many companies, especially private segment, in my opinion, and leveraging the amount that huge with an SPARC is amazing. Now, SPARC, unlike SPACs, they don't have the 2-year window to close a deal. They get the 5-year window. Obviously, it can be extended as well. So when you do get that SPARC right, or you want to call it stock, you got to realize that it's going to be for the long haul. It could take a year, it could take 2 years, it could take 5 years. Now, I don't know if he has been simultaneously working on 2 deals, right? I mean, or at least prospecting for the second one because he knew that he's going to be left with $1.5 billion, which is huge, by the way. There are SPACs that come at that raise that much alone, right? So for him to have that much is left over, I do feel like he's already prospected out another company, and then SPARC is another exciting factor too. Hopefully this video has painted a rough idea for you on what this deal is and how it's going to affect us, how it's going to show up in our accounts, right? I do think on a high level that we are going to come higher than what we put into it, as long as you bought it at 25 bucks and lower. In my opinion, we are going to come positive out of this deal. I am sticking to this stock for a long time. I do want to see the merger happen. I'm going to keep researching more about Universal Music, which I am hyped about too, because they are on Spotify. They have digital streams to make money, and you know they are there. I mean, technology wise, that's why Bill keeps saying we have the technology. So technology I trust, and in PSTH I trust. Go PSTH. And once again, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Love you all, fam.